nothing. I'm doing this because he tried to say that I come to the door in my birthday suit, and that is never the case. But since you want to go there, let's go there. You want to make me look crazy by your lies, I'm gonna make you look crazy by my truth. So that's all it is for me. Like, you took it there, and now
Let's go there because you want to. Even though I promised God I wouldn't do anything at all, I'm going to make you look insane with my truth because you want to make me look crazy with your falsehoods. For me, that's all it is. Let's head there immediately since you took it there. He'd attempted to claim, which is never true, that I arrived at the door wearing my birthday suit. Atlanta had always been a city that loved drama and scandal, and Jasmine, the fiery and protective mother, was swept up in this emotional maelstrom. Renowned for its startling twists and ludicrous headlines, but this time it was personal. Jasmine was up against one of the most notorious figures in Atlanta's love and hip-hop culture. All of it started out innocently enough. Jasmine had always kept her personal life mostly quiet, despite her reputation for being harsh and fiercely protective of her child. With only a few moments shared with the public, she wanted to cherish the joyous event of her child's birth with her closest friends and family. Despite her pride in a child, she wanted to keep him out of the spotlight and away from the public's often harsh criticism. Then, one evening, Jasmine was looking through social media when she was devastated to see images of a baby everywhere on Key Red's Instagram account, as though she had leaked them to the world. Some of the images were shot during private times that were never meant to be shared. Jasmine was shocked to see that Key had read a woman she had previously believed to be in. A friend had overreached himself. When she exploited Jasmine's personal trust and made it public, the lady who took pride in being active on social media, the same woman who had gained notoriety on drama, Mogul, felt duped, humiliated, and most importantly, outraged. She was baffled by the disrespectful behavior of someone she had been friendly with and who had previously shown interest in being part of her social circle. In addition to being a betrayal in and of itself, the leak betrayed her trust as a mother who wishes to protect her child's life from the surface of the media. No one in the love and hip-hop Atlanta universe would soon forget the day Jasmine faced Key Red. The scene was set at one of the most prestigious restaurants in Atlanta, the kind of establishment where celebrity encounters and business negotiations were common, but today it would be war. Despite her roiling emotions, Jasmine wasted no time in getting things done, since she knew that facing Key Red in front of cameras was a certain way to garner attention. She gathered her closest pals and began formulating her strategy for defeating Key. Provide the backdrop for a conflict that would have everyone talking. When Jasmine rushed to her table, the atmosphere in the room altered. When Carrie saw the fury in Jasmine's eyes, her typical smirk wavered. Jasmine had walked into the venue with hurt and rage burning in her eyes. She was a lioness prepared to protect her cub, and nothing could stop her from doing so. She was no longer the calm woman who had kept her life off the grid. He was already there, browsing through her phone while sitting with her typical confident demeanor. Jasmine, Key asked, trying not to lose her cool despite the fact that she clearly felt something was going to happen. "What the hell is wrong with you, Kai?" Jasmine questioned in a sharp voice. "I didn't intend for it to get that far," but she fumbled, and her tone betrayed no sincere regret, so I assumed that she wasn't sincere. Rising, "You're aware of how hard I've worked to keep my baby safe from all of this chaos, and you went ahead and made him a spectacle for everyone to witness." Kay had been caught, and there was no escaping the reality as her face stiffened. "In reality, you wanted drama, not attention, and you used my son to obtain it." Her body was trembling with rage, and her hands were clenched into fists. "Since this is my kid, and we are discussing Key, I won't sit here and allow you to attempt to spin this any other way because you know precisely what you did." Have remained protective despite a slight change in appearance. "Since the pictures were so cute and it wasn't supposed to be a big deal, I thought you would accept the Jasmine. I had no intention of hurting you." Jasmine reiterated, "Bargains. Without consulting me or even caring what I wanted, you turned something private into a public spectacle, and now I have to deal with the consequences. So, getting back up, there was a palpable sense of unease in the room as the two women were evaded by the staff and onlookers. Jasmine's words were sharp, and Sai's usual self-assurance was crumbling. She wasn't used to this kind of treatment, especially from someone she had once considered a friend.
This is the text message between me and Kurt. He says, so what's the amount if we... This is not a one-time thing. I'm telling y'all, this tried to be on several occasions. He's been proven time and time again to lie about. When have I ever been proven wrong?
You don't have a reason to lie.
I don't have a reason to lie.
We in the playground. Let's play.
Key, you've come a long way. This is the lowest, Jasmine uttered in a low, fierce voice. Key's brows narrowed, but she knew better than to exacerbate the situation. I'll never forget what you did, and I'll make sure the world knows who you really are. Even though she wanted to defend herself, she knew that the battle was lost because she wasn't used to being chastised, especially by someone as enraged as Jasmine. The words, "I'm sorry, okay," came out of her strained voice. I didn't think it would go down like this. Don't think I'll forget this with one last look, and you'll never get another chance to take my private and exploit it as a marketing stunt. I'm sorry if I offended you. I didn't intend for it to go this far. But my apologies weren't enough for Jasmine. Now that the world had witnessed the extent to which Karlie had gone to incite conflict, Jasmine had made her point. No one, not even one with Key Red's level of game expertise, was going to get away with it, leaving Lai to sit there stunned by the emotional assault. Disdaining her family, the aftermath from the altercation had an impact on hip-hop and love. No one, not even Key Red, could take away Jasmine's focus on safeguarding her child. It wasn't about controversy or celebrity. One thing was certain while Atlanta World supporters and detractors debated who was correct. Jasmine had established herself as a formidable opponent. Key, on the other hand, underestimated the depth of a mother's love and protective instincts, leaving her to pick up the pieces of her ruined reputation.
It's not my job.
You know what? He can have that overweight, speaking with a fake accent Teletubby if that's what he wants. Because Karlie Red is done. All I need...
Nothing could stop her from being ready to defend her youngster. Karlie had already arrived, sitting there reading through her phone with her usual assurance. The atmosphere altered when Jasmine hurried to her table, even though she hadn't spotted her entering. Karlie glanced up, the heat in Jasmine's eyes making her typical smirk waver. She tried to be calm as she asked, "What's going on, Jasmine?" But it was clear that she anticipated something. She said, "What the hell is wrong with you, Kay?" She fumbled, but there was no sincere apology in her tone, which is not how I wanted it to go. I said no, but Jasmine interrupted her in a piercing tone. "In reality, you wanted drama, not attention, and you used my son to obtain it. Rising, you're aware of how hard I've worked to keep my baby safe from all of this chaos, and you went ahead and made him a spectacle for everyone to witness." Karlie's face shifted a little, but she was still defensive. "I didn't mean to offend you, Jasmine. I assumed you would accept it." Jasmine's body trembled with hatred as she repeated, "You didn't ask me, you didn't even care what I wanted. You took something that was mine. The images were cute, so it wasn't meant to be a big deal." But her anger grew even more. "I won't sit here and let you attempt to spin this any other way because you know precisely what you did. I'm currently coping with the consequences of turning something that was private into a public spectacle." As employees and bystanders tried to stay away from the two women, the tension in the room was clear. Jasmine's words were sharp, and Kay's usual self-assurance was crumbling. She wasn't used to being challenged like this, especially by someone who had once been a friend or someone like that. Jasmine went on, "You've done a lot of things in your time, Karlie," in a low but passionate voice. "But this is the lowest. The things you did are something I will always remember." "I'm sorry, okay," Karlie finally said in a strained voice. "I didn't think it would go down like this if I hurt you." Karlie's eyes narrowed, even though she knew better than to make things worse because she wasn't used to being the target of someone's DTH, especially not from someone as fierce as Jasmine. "I apologize for letting things get this far, but Jasmine wasn't finished." "I'd apologize, But that wasn't sufficient. You won't be allowed to take my. After turning around, Jasmine left Karlie sitting there, stunned by the emotional assault. Jasmine had made it plain that no one, not even someone as skilled at the game as Key Red, was going to get away with disrespecting her family, and the world now knew how far Karlie had gone to cause trouble. The Love and Hip Hop Atlanta fans were affected by the consequences from that altercation. Don't think I'll forget this, and you won't get that chance again. And critics debated who was correct, but one thing was certain: Jasmine had cemented her status as a powerful force. However, Karlie misjudged the extent to which a mother's love and protective instincts would go for Jasmine, leaving her to pick up the pieces of her ruined reputation. No one, not even Key Red, could ever take away her need to defend her child. This was not about drama or celebrity. The world of reality television is accustomed to the history of Jasmine and Kay's relationship, the circumstances surrounding the purported leak, and the public's response to the latest episode in which Jasmine accused Key Red of posting intimate photos of her newborn child on Instagram will all be covered in this script. Once again, the drama has reached a boiling point, and this time, the two well-known characters from the hit series Love and Hip Hop are the main focus. Viewers have seen the highs and lows of Jasmine and Kay's relationship over the years, but it appears that any trust between them has been shattered by the recent issue. Jasmine and Key, who is renowned for her strong character and no-nonsense demeanor, have always had a complex connection. On Love and Hip Hop, they were previously close friends, but miscommunications, rivalry, and treachery have repeatedly put their friendship to the test. In contrast, Jasmine has made an effort to maintain a low profile ever since her connection with Kirk Frost was made public. They were able to get along despite their differences until Key Red's Instagram account featured private images of Jasmine's newborn child, which sparked the dispute. Fans promptly downloaded screenshots and posted them on social media, even though the images were meant to be private and included private moments of Jasmine with her child. Jasmine was incensed and devastated, and she resorted to social media to vent her anger in a sobbing livestream. "I trusted you, Key. How could you do this to me and my fames?" wrote Jasmine. "I would never intentionally hurt Jasmine or her baby. The pictures were sent to me, and I didn't realize they weren't meant for public viewing," she stated. But there were disagreements among the enthusiasts. Karlie was accused of attracting attention and utilizing Jasmine's private moments for her own gain by some, while others agreed with her explanation. Key faced a strong backlash, with many people demanding a public apology. Dramatic fallout has resulted from the incident. Jasmine is said to have severed her previous relationship with Key and is thinking of filing a lawsuit. In an interview, Jasmine said that her child's safety and privacy were just as important as her own. Key has been coping with the consequences of her behavior in the meantime, as a number of brands have distanced themselves from her. Social media has been used by Love and Hip Hop fans to express their opinions on the matter. While some have expressed sympathy for Jasmine, others have criticized her for revealing the drama in public when it should have been addressed in private. One fan commented, "Driving Key through the mud isn't going to solve anything," but other fans have been harsher with her. Key insists she is innocent and would never purposefully hurt somebody in spite of this. She has every right to be unhappy because she is supportive of Jasmine. "No one should have to deal with their child's privacy being violated," commented another fan. One cannot ignore the legal implications of the incident. According to reports, Jasmine's legal team is looking into the situation, and Key might face a lawsuit for violation of privacy. Legal professionals have voiced their thoughts on the subject, saying that Key might face consequences if she intentionally published the images without Jasmine's permission. This instance is a clear reminder of the importance of preserving people's privacy, especially with regard to children. Key may suffer emotional harm as a result of such abuses, as demonstrated by Jasmine's heartbreak. Both Jasmine and Key will have to decide how to move forward after everything is over, whether that means mending their friendship or splitting up. Fans can only hope that everyone concerned learns a lesson from this for the time being. Although it was a calm evening on the set of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Tensions were subtly building across the city. Jasmine and Key Red's story has drawn viewers in and spurred important discussions about trust and privacy. Even though both ladies may have a challenging future, this tragedy has surely had a long-lasting effect on both their lives and the love and hip-hop community. For more information on this developing story, stay tuned. Was full of secrets and some facts that might ruin friendships, relationships, and even careers were beginning to surface amidst the chaos and drama of the reality TV world. Scrappy, a longtime favorite and a man known for his loyalty and his temper, had been acting strangely lately, and it wasn't just his way. Karlie, a regular on the show who was known for stirring things up and watching everything that happened behind the scenes, had found something that no one else had. Ordinary flirtations or the drama involving his relationships with Bab Mamas and his former lovers, but at Karlie's shop, something more was taking place. Scrap's unusual behavior, such as accepting calls in private, texting more than normal, and leaving at odd hours, had been picked up on by instincts. He'd appeared to be having more than casual discussions with Amy, a rising star in the hip-hop and love scene. Their interactions were private and nearly too intimate for them to be business partners. Karlie, who consistently appeared to have. Karlie heard something that made her stomach flip one evening while she was out with several of the other C members. Scrappy was confirming a meeting with Amy later that evening. He made it obvious to Karlie that this was more than a business meeting by the urgency in his voice and the way he glanced around to make sure no one else was listening. The goal of keeping an ear to the ground was to discover the truth. The opportunist Karlie wasn't going to let this one slide since she knew it may give her the advantage in the drama and the disclosure that the cast members' habit could make or shatter relationships. She was notified later that night that Scrappy had indeed escaped with his destination unknown to the majority of the cast. Although they were catching up amicably, there was more going on between them that was being kept well hidden from the others. The next day, Karlie's curiosity was rewarded when she learned that Scrappy had arranged for Amy and herself to meet in a hotel suite. This particular detail raised more questions than it did answers, such as why the hotel was selected and why their meeting was so crucial that it had to be held behind closed doors. The suspicions were heightened by the fact that the meeting was being held in a hotel, since private meetings are sometimes held in hotel suites. Equipped with this new knowledge, Karlie made the decision that it was time to share what she knew, realizing that doing so would not only. The gang had assembled at a nearby location, and Karlie was eager to reveal the shocking information. The customary blend of amicable tension and underlying conflict charged the air as the chat progressed. In addition to upending Scrap's meticulously maintained image, the truth would cause the rest of the cast to become extremely curious. Karlie saw upheaval as an opportunity since she had always flourished at the center of drama. She waited for the perfect moment when everyone would be observing her as the room was being built. She gave Scrappy a cunning smile and a confident gaze before dropping the bomb, which made Scrappy listen to something fascinating last night. She seemed really interested, as though she and Amy were having a private rendezvous in a hotel room. What's actually happening there? Everything appeared to freeze for a second as the room fell silent and Scrappy's face abruptly stiffened. The rest of the cast, who had not been told about the meeting, looked at him incredulously as Karis's comments began to sink in. While some leaned close to hear his response, others exchanged suspicious glances. Hemi, who was standing close by, felt the attention suddenly turn to her. The tension was intense, despite her best efforts to be composed. Everyone was waiting for an answer after Karlie revealed that something was taking place behind closed doors. Since it seemed he had no convincing explanation, the silence simply served to heighten suspicions. As the gathering waited for someone to break the silence, Karlie's remarks lingered in the air, piercing and slicing. At last, Scrubby spoke up, attempting to dismiss it in that manner. He spoke in a defensive but unconfident tone. Taking advantage of her position of authority, she questioned, "What was so urgent about this meeting here, and why in a hotel? You two have been getting awfully cozy lately, and I'm not sure it's just business." It seems a bit odd to meet in a hotel suite, don't you think? As she scanned the room, she waited for reactions. At this point, all of the members were involved, albeit several were clearly dubious. Kai's manner had gone from casual to tense as he showed Scrap, while others were attempting to piece the puzzle together. As the moment continued, Amy, feeling the increasing strain, shifted uneasily on her feet, and it was clear that Karlie had struck a nerve. Scrappy was no longer the calm individual that everyone had anticipated. What had truly transpired in that hotel suite was the subject of intense conjecture in the days that followed. Was there more going on between Scrappy and Amy, or was their relationship just going as usual? As the C started to wonder who had been hiding what and why, Kay's admission set the stage for a dramatic unraveling in which relationships changed and trust was destroyed. Instead, he became defensive, and the riddle was only made more complex by his failure to provide a convincing explanation. One couldn't help but wonder how far Scrappy would go to protect his secrets and whether the consequences of Kay's admission would ruin relationships in ways that no one could have foreseen for Key as the drama unfolded behind the scenes. Truth always comes at a price in Atlanta's love and hip-hop scene, and the consequence was just what she had hoped for. But you claim to have gone to pick it up after Scrappy was turned down while we were in the studio. That's the word flirting, all right. I don't like getting involved with drama with my baby mama. Key countered, referring to Erica Scrappy. Enjoy that. Kicking it. We're not dating, but I told you that, he said. I'm incredibly,